Hi there! Welcome again to SPIKY, the MATLAB-based graphical user interface for monitoring spike train synchrony. In this movie, we show how to select spike trains and intervals both for calculation and plotting. For this, we select our standard example, the clustering dataset, which contains 40 spike trains over a time interval of 4,000 milliseconds. As we see, by pressing Update, some features of the data, such as the division into 4 spike train groups and the separation into 8 intervals, were already predefined. Later, we want to look at the temporal average over the whole interval. For real data, it often makes sense to restrict further analysis to specific intervals or to a subset of spike trains. For example, in order to disregard the baseline activity or to eliminate empty or low firing spike trains. Here we simulate such selections on our example dataset. First, we select the relevant time interval. Here we set the start to 500 and the end to 3500. Pressing Update again lets you see the restricted interval only. Next, we choose a subset of spike trains. For this, we set the selection criterion to select trains and then press the Select Train button. In this case, we mark 20 spike trains in the middle, which we then delete. When we are done, we confirm the remaining 20 spike trains by pressing OK. After pressing Update again, we have restricted the dataset to the relevant spike trains in the relevant time interval. The other spike trains, among them one entire spike train group, have been discarded for good. So now we can calculate the spike distance. Note that the selected interval for the averaging updated automatically. When we press Plot, we get to see the pairwise dissimilarity matrix, but temporally average only over the restricted interval, and only for the selected 20 spike trains. Nevertheless, from the clustering dendrogram, we are still able to distinguish the 3 remaining spike train groups. In the first selection step, we have discarded data. Now in a second selection step, if needed, we can further restrict the figure in order to focus on the most relevant data. Again, we can reduce both the time interval and the spike trains. Note that the spike distance values do not have to be recalculated. Only the averaging has to be carried out again. So here we first set the new time limits to 1000 and 3000. Pressing Plot again lets us see the result. Now we decide that we actually do not need a second spike train group. We could discard the respective spike trains again via Select Trains, but the more convenient variant is to directly select the relevant spike train groups. This could be done via Select Groups, but it is also possible to edit the text field manually. Here we only keep the first and the third of the remaining groups. To see the new results, we press Plot once more. Of course, it would now be possible to change the selections again and again. This way, one can explore the results in a very interactive and convenient way. That's it for now. Cheers!